Thank you for joining me for another episode of Be at the Buzzer. I'm your host, Bryant Briggs, and we've been out the air for about 2 weeks. As I had to struggle and grapple with what is my message, because the movement, the movement that we're encountering at this day and time in this country, in this world, has moved me to talk about that more so than sports, because I am a black man that has grown up in these United States. And, there has been times, even from the fact that I've been in the corporate world. In the corporate world, all of the misinformation, no information, make it hard to get this information, things that have occurred. So this systemic racism runs deep in this country. And until we take measures to make these things right, as I think now is the right time for that, the climate is right for that right now. I've been, kind of reading here and listening there and talking about, what we have in front of us. And what we have in front of us, y'all, is a situation where we, as brown-skinned people, I'm not just saying black people, because you can be dark-skinned and be from India and can get mistaken. In this current climate, you can get mistaken for being an Afro-American. So it has everything to do with that because of the context and where it came from, but it's bigger. So what I'm saying is, all of our brown-skinned brethren, be it Latino, whatever it is, Indian, we have to all come together to make this change. And I want to kind of get off on the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm listening to some things, and the most compelling thing that I've heard is Bob Johnson, the former founder of BET, which I'm very familiar with. I met the man once because he ended up buying, or what it seemed at that time in the early 90s, as a purchase of Mile High Cable System. But when we found out what it was the minority program being used. So again, this is a situation where we being used to gain wealth for white Americans. So he was used as, John Malone gave him, the 50,000 or 500,000 or whatever it was to start BET, and he did well with it. So he owed a favor, and there's nothing wrong with that. But again, the laws were set up so is that the wealthy white man would get the tax break if he got Bob Johnson as a minority to buy this cable system. I was there. I was in those talks. I understood how that's worked, and I've gone through that process. And he said something, and the reason I brought up Bob Johnson is because he said something very profound to me the other day. He said the Black Lives Matter movement should become its own political party. Wow. That's powerful. It's powerful because he's right. What we've done over the last umpteen years is that it doesn't work. The current political system for us does not work. It works for everybody else except for us. But they covered our votes. They covered our votes. We make people win. We have a strong voice. Now it's time to put that voice together for our good. So let me tell you, Bob Johnson said something profound. He said that they should consider, and it should be a consideration. It should be a mandation. It should be a mandate that this is what we do as African Americans, the Black Lives Matter movement, the Indian, the Hispanic, the Latino, everybody, Asian. We want everybody to be included in this because as Black people, we've always been forgiving and inclusive. You can be a part of us when nobody else don't want you. When OJ was hanging with white people and buddy up with white people, when it all went down, it was a Black community. It says, hey, OJ, we still love you. You still one of us. Hey, man, listen. He said that we should form this Black Lives Matter political party so that we can put, how did he say it? Let me find what he said. He said that it's 40 million African, just think of that, 40 million African Americans in this country. So he say, basically he said that the Republicans don't want our vote. They don't care about our vote. They're going to win anyway. You see it now. We have our base. We're going to win. We don't care if the blacks vote. They're not going to come out and vote anyway. Then you got the political part, the Democratic Party. They take it for granted. Oh, we got the black vote. What happened with Joe Biden? He was stumbling, bumbling around. He come to South Carolina, all the black people get behind him now. He the nominee. We got it. We know what to do. It's time. It's time. It's time to do what we got to do. In this party, it makes so much sense because if they take us for granted and they don't care, we're not being served by either party. So the Black Lives Matter party can promote its candidates at a grassroots level. We promote our candidates, be it on the Republican side or the Democrat, because we should have people on both sides to make sure that our interests are best met. We should have people on both sides of the spectrum. I remember our old pastor, J.M. Blow, he was a Republican. He said, you got to go see what they're doing. You got to see what they're doing. So then what Bob Johnson said, and I like this, he said that the founding principles of the Black Lives Matter movement can be just like the Congressional Black Caucus back in 71. He described the Black Caucus founding principle as blacks having no permanent friends, no permanent enemies, but permanent interests. That's what it's about, having permanent interests. We love you all. We hate none of you. But we have to do what we got to do to make sure that we right too. It's this life we live. You know? I hope this does somebody some good somewhere. Signing off till the next episode of Be at the Buzzer. I love y'all. Let's stay woke.